everyone, it's Jean from Lizzie Jean's Artistic Chaos. I'm so glad you're stopping by today because I have an exciting project. I'm so excited about this. I have been wanting to share it for a little while. So I am not sure if you all are familiar. Most, I think, my artistic friends are familiar with the cabinet cards. So I have some cabinet cards here, and I have two sizes. Now, I've had these in my stash for a long time, and I think that I just need to go ahead and put them into something so that I can enjoy them. Sometimes when you have something like this and it gets tossed around so many places, you don't get the chance to really enjoy them. So that's kind of what I'm doing, is going through some things and going to work with them. Now this one is on a hard backing, but it's not exactly well, I guess it is a cabinet card because it does have the photographer's name. So one of the things that was notorious for cabinet cards, and this one has it on the back. Let me put my light on. It's a little overcast today. Of course, it's not going to work now. Give me a second to coax it along. Let's see. There we go. So what a cabinet card was initially is they took your photo, this gentleman, and he would get some copies of it, and they would display them on their cabinet or in their cabinet. But they also were an advertising piece for the photographer. So this one is Bostwick, and it's in New York. And I'm not seeing a date on it, but these have been around a while. They show some staining, probably from water damage, but I think that just adds to the vintage look of them. Here's a young gentleman, and he's a little bit older, but here is the advertising right at the bottom here. So that makes it very cool. Here's another gentleman, again, the advertising on the bottom. And I have some women ones as well. This one is an older lady, and this is actually from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which is very close to me. It says Grandma Rudy's mother. So it doesn't say what year, but North 3rd Street, I believe. That's really nice. This one is so pretty too. No advertising on that one. And then this is a portrait, and then the advertising is down here. So you can get all kinds of cabinet cards. From what I can see on eBay, they're pretty popular right now. So I'm going to work with a couple of these. Oh, and here are the smaller ones. These do have advertising on the back, and these are gentlemen that I mainly have. I don't think I have any women. This one's gotten marked up and colored, so I will have to see if I can still use him. And then this is a child, and it does show some staining, but that's, like I said, adds to the vintage charm. So what I started doing, and I'll just show you the ones that I have done so far. So I want to make a little cabinet card journal, and I want to be able to incorporate not only the cabinet cards themselves. So I have these two young girls, and I decorated at the bottom. So I put some different laces, a piece of fabric. This is a embroidered piece that I cut out of some lace. And then we have this piece of lace that's on top, and it actually makes a little pocket. Now I will probably need to create a clip of some sort, just because as you flip through the book, they're going to come flying out. So I'm going to create a clip so that they can stay in, or I just may use a paper clip, a fancy paper clip. And then this one, I started to tear some lace and add this to this cabinet card, and I love this. I don't want to call it scruffy, but it's kind of like torn, tattered look. And I did add another piece of fabric. So the color scheme that I'm trying to stay in is in a pink, green, and then of course the vintage look. So I think I have plenty of trims that I can use. I have some of them under my desk only because I don't have enough space on my table. And I was using Aleene's tacky glue, the clear. It works really well, but especially if you use like an Elmer's glue or something like that, because Aleene's is a little bit less expensive and you can get it at the larger department food stores, or you can, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm thinking the Dollar Tree might sell Aleene's. But I have some vintage things we can use. I have some vintage papers, and again, I don't have everything right here in front of me, but I will show you as I pull it out. These are from My Porch Prints. I purchased these. I don't remember how much they were, but they have some really pretty designs. Now, some of these are peach, and I like the peachy, and then some of them are pink. And what I've been doing is I've been kind of roughly tearing them out with a ruler so that they're not so straight. And also, depending on the pocket size, they may not fit. So this one's really pretty with the can, and I like this rose, and I like these. This is a postcard back. Some of these that have more of the peachy design, I think I might save out for another book or journal, because I started making these tags, and these are really cute tags. I cannot remember the young lady that I got these files from, but she makes beautiful journals. I'll have to link her in the bottom. But I have this tag, and then I have this tag. But this one has more of a peach design to it. I may use that, I'm not sure. But I liked the idea of adding on a piece of lace and making a pocket out of it. Here's another piece. Let's see. That's pink. Okay. So to get started, I think since we put the lace here, I'm going to use this one next. Now, the great thing about using a ring to bind these, you can use two if you want to, or you can just do it at the corner. is that you can change the order of them when you're finished. So if you don't quite like the order of the cabinet cards as you're making them, you can always change the order of, the sequence of them as you go along. So what I need for this one is I need something to go here. So I wanted to make sure we stay within our color wheel, color selection, which I'm using a light blue, a green, and a pink. And that's probably because I will have some men as well as women. And I needed to put a pin in my glue. So this needs something right here, and I have so many things that I could use. I have buttons, and I didn't grab my buttons. Let me do that really quick. Try not to knock everything down. Okay, these are not necessarily buttons, but they do have some cool things in them that I could use. I like this blue flower here, but it needs some help. So let's see. How that would look okay. This ribbon rose would look nice. I do have some buttons. Let me find some that have some thread in them. Okay, so that looks good. We'll go with that for now. And let me see if I have another button that might be, there we go. I have some little tiny pink ones here, but they don't have thread in them, so I will need to thread those before I use them. Okay. I think I'm going to use this ribbon rose and put it right here. And I'm going to skip using the Aleene's because it's not, it doesn't set up quite as fast as the glitter glue does. So here is this little rose. I hope you all are doing okay, staying hydrated, enjoying your summer, but I know some people have concerns with the weather and the heat, so I do. And my problem is I don't even like the air conditioning, but you're forced to use it because it's just so terribly hot. So, okay, let me just, I don't know how much, I'm going to put the glue right on the rose because I want it to, the leaves to kind of fan out a little bit. There went my glue. Let me just put this on, and I thought I had a couple clips that I could use. to hold that together. I'm not seeing them. Okay. It's okay. Everything's okay. Now, I think actually for this one, since I use so much of the lace pieces and the crochet pieces, I think that rose is sufficient for this one. So I'm going to set this one up here, and then I want to work on one of the smaller ones. So we'll use this little sweet little baby. It's kind of hard to see, but that's okay. It has a really cool backing on it. And I'm just going to add some lace. We'll use some, let's see if I have any little tiny pink trim. Tiny pink trim. I think most of my trim may be on the peach side. This is kind of pretty. Let's see which side goes up. It's kind of big for. I think what we'll do with this one is similar to what we did with that tag that I showed you, where we kind of flipped it up. It had a piece of lace on it, and we kind of just covered it with the lace. I think that would look nice. Let me just cut this right here, and then we'll see if we need to trim it down anymore. Okay, I'm gonna glue it first, and then we can trim. I think I need to refill my glitter glue. Okay, so let me position this so that this part's right in the middle. And then we can just lift it up to see the baby. Did I use the right side? I am always so concerned about using the right side. I don't think I did. Let me see this over here. Oh, the problems of not being able to see well, huh? Okay, I think that is going to look so cute. And then I'm going to look for some pink, something pink, or we can even do white that we put on top, on the top there, to kind of give it a different look. I'm going to try this bow and see how a pink bow would look. Maybe too big. Okay, skipping that. And what do we want to put up here at the top? I have some of this, and I thought I had a little bit of a smaller piece. Yeah, this one's nice right here. Put this right over the top of that. And I want, okay, I'll cut it here, and then we'll kind of rough it up a little bit. And these are pretty much vintage trims, so if you want to do the ruffling where you get a more tattered look, they do tear pretty easily. I'm not sure if I was in frame for that. I apologize. So here I just stretched it out and pulled it a little bit so it kind of looks more tattered. And we'll put that right on top so you don't notice the edge of the lace as much. And let me see. I like the handmade, you know, this type of thing. I really love this more than the pre-made stuff. And this one's even cool to kind of put on the top. I think I'm going to remove this one, which it comes off really easy, and I'm going to put on this one. Let's set this one up right here so it can finish drying, and then I have a little bit more room. All right, this is looking good. I really like the idea of using or decorating from the top down on this one. So let's turn this over and let's do just a little trimmy-do. If I can do it without cutting my fingers, that would be fabulous. Okay, let me hold that down. Okay, that looks really nice. And then we just flip it up and we can see the baby's picture. And I'm gonna add these, let me see if I have a ratty little piece of fabric that I can add to stay within my color. I have this. Don't know how well it's gonna tear. It tore, but kind of crooked. So let's see if we can use this piece right here, because I don't want a huge piece. I just want something to kind of accent the sides. Anytime you want to tatter something, you know, pull at it a little bit, because the fabric is pretty forgiving if you're using a cotton. And most of the things that I like to use are muslin or like a quilter's cotton, and I have a lot of that, so that works out great. So we're going to add this little tiny piece up here, and I'm going to let it hang over a little bit, and then we'll put our buttons on there right across the little fabric piece. Now these are vintage mother of pearl buttons or bones. Some of them may be bone because they used to use some of them for their undergarments. And one thing I like to keep in mind anytime I'm using buttons, for the mother of pearl ones, when I pick them out, if I'm looking through buttons and I want to have some for a project, I try to always keep the threads in them. Now you sometimes will get some that'll have staples in them. I take the staples out. I do like the threads, however, to stay in there because it looks like they're actually sewn. And I think actually I'm gonna have to move these over a little bit because of our hole. Almost forgot about the hole. So the sewn ones just look a little more finished, I think. You can also take your inks that you may have in brown or a tea stain look or a vintage photo, something like that, and go over some of the more white pieces and make them look a little more rustic too. So here's this one, and now what I want to do is, this is actually printed like it has a little spine. So I thought about making this into a little book. And all we would need is a small piece of tea-dyed paper. So I forgot to get that. Give me 1 second. Believe me, I have a lot of it. Just forgot to pull it out. So let's go with a lighter piece of paper. We have this. And we will measure this for our little book. So we need it to be a little bit smaller than that. So I'm going to mark this with a pen, and then I'm going to see if I can tear it with my ruler rather than using my cutter. I've been enjoying tearing with the ruler because I like that rustic little edge it gives. So I'm going to go below this and tear from there, because and then I am going to check the width. So the width is, let's see, let's do this with the width. We can do this right here. Okay. Now I am going to see if I can tear a tiny bit of this off the edge. I don't know if I can get it, but I'm gonna try. And let me come from this end and do it like this and see if that works better. Yes, it does. It's tearing a little bit more than I wanted, but that's okay. I want this to be smaller than the actual size of the book, so it may be better after all. And let me just check this for where I want my bend. Okay. So I'm just going to take this paper and I'm going to bend it back and forth in like an accordion style, so we can add it to the inside of our book. And the pages aren't going to be even, top and bottom necessarily, because we rough tore it. So, and it's okay that this piece right here on the end is shorter. If we don't need it, we can certainly chop it off, which we may end up doing. Where's our little book? Okay, so we know that it fits inside our book like that. So I'm going to tear this page off. And I'm going to, let's see, this already has something on the inside of it. Let's see how long this postcard is. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm going to use a dauber to ink up. Maybe I won't use a dauber. I thought I had one closed, but that's okay. We'll just go around the edges like this and add some of this vintage photo to it. And we'll do that with this as well. And I'm going to see if I can do a cover-up job over this, because it accidentally printed on those sides, two sides, those sides. Okay, here's some blue, and that would bring in that blue again, wouldn't it? We could put that right there. Okay, I'm just thinking. All right, so what you do after you have made your accordion fold, you want to take your book and you want to add glue. Either, you can use your glitter glue or you can use your regular glue. And we're going to just glue that right to this side right here and pull it over so that the bend in the book is at the bend of the spine. Okay, now this one's a little bit shorter, but I think what we'll do is we'll decorate the inside of this book as well as the outside. So now, when we open this up, we have a full page spread there. We have a page here and a page here. So we can write a little note or something that we like right on the inside. And then we have these pages that are nice and thick because they're double-sided. If you want to glue them together, you can. I don't really see the necessity for that, but you can put a little bit of glue here and a little bit of glue here, and we'll glue that down. And then at the top, we can put a little bit here, a little bit here, and glue that down. And then the pages, when we turn them, they won't come apart. So this is just meant to be like a tiny little book that's going to go inside our cabinet card journal to be able to enjoy what we have on. We can make our little notes or whatever we decide to do. So these are just like little pieces of lace and such. So I'm going to cut one of these and see if it covers this whole side. Okay, so it does. I'm going to trim it a little bit, and hopefully I won't trim it too much. So remember, if you need to just trim off the little tiny side, hold that under your ruler and then pull the larger side up. Okay, now that didn't get all of it because it was longer on one end than it was on the other. Don't ask me what I have on my ruler. It looks like glue. Okay. And then I'm going to put it right here. And it's going to kind of, I think, it reminds me, it mimics kind of like a wallpaper, doesn't it? So let me add it right on this back side so that looks a little bit more finished. We'll leave the lacy side down and pull it over just a hair. And then we can tear this piece off, and hopefully it will be good. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's cute. So I really need to find my, I thought I had one laying back here. Let me look really quick. I don't see it. I have one of these small ones. Give me just 1 second to switch out a phony. Watch me not have any about me. Chiquito phonies. Chiquito phonies. I do have chiquito phonies. Okay. So we'll use this to do a little bit better job at distressing the edges. There we go. Let me distress in here a little bit. That looks great. I love that. Okay, let's put another one of these. Let me see if I have another longish one. Let's put this one, and hopefully it'll be long enough. Now the lace on this one's going the opposite way, so that's okay. We like when things are different. Yes, we do. Not everything has to be. I have to learn this myself because I'm a matchy person. Not everything has to match. It looks nice when it does, but it's not a requirement. I want that toward the outside. Just tearing the top off this so that it is a little bit more rustic looking. And I'm going to put it right here. And let me ink this here and see. Okay, that's going to go on there fine. Now the thing too that I like to keep in mind when you're doing something that is vintage, you know, or vintage inspired, remember it doesn't always have to be perfectly even on every single side, because I mean, things were definitely done very nicely then, but it gives a little bit of charm, I think, to the piece when you know, make things uneven. And so there's our little book, and we have those end pages now. Of course, that only gave us 2 pages to work with because we covered up our 2-page spread, but that's okay. I think it looks much nicer this way, and we don't need a whole lot because it's just a little pocket journal that we're going to put in there. So me see if I have any. I was thinking about using this blue. We could put this right down the spine. That would be really cute. Okay, let me cut that off right there. And this is kind of a stiffer, I don't know if it's been starched or what, but it is a little stiffer, so it should stay down nicely. And we'll put that along the edge here. Make sure I have enough room. Now, by all means, we could have done like a little stitch in this to make it, you know, like a pamphlet stitch, but that's not really the style that I was going for. So here in the back, I think we could definitely add a little pocket and perhaps put a couple more pieces of paper in there. So let me tear this and see if we can make a little pocket. I think with this heat, about the only thing we can enjoy is if you have a nice cool art room or craft room, or like I have, my husband calls it the garage, I think. Or so I'm going to ink this up really well because I want it to stand out. And we are going to make this into a little pocket right here. Okay, so let me tear down this edge a little bit more, and we can ink it up again. Now, this is a project that will probably take me a day or so to finish, so you will have to check for the follow-up video to see, you know, when I do some more decorating and finalizing of the designs. Let this up, and I'm just going to cut, because there's not going to be a whole lot of space in there, so I'm just going to cut this one side, and we'll make a little tiny accordion journal to stick in there that can be used, and we'll tuck it in this little pocket. And let me ink it up really quick. I have glue on my surface here, so that's one of the reasons why I use paper, because our mats gets glued up really quick. So put this in here. I almost think I want to put a tiny little ribbon or something around it. Let me see what I can find. I don't know if you guys are like me, but when I start saying different words, I think of songs. So, oh, this is a really cute ribbon. It has hearts on it. So let me use a ribbon for this one. It is a little wider ribbon, which is, you know, fine. We'll just have to tie it. I don't know if I can get a bow out of this one. It's pretty small. tie a little ribbon around that journal pocket piece. It's tie a little ribbon, tie a yellow ribbon around that old oak tree. I don't know why. I guess so the sweetheart could find him or something. Something like that. Okay. Snip that off so it's just tiny. Oh my goodness, that's adorable. Let me pull it up a little bit. So, and then when we put it in the pocket, it's gonna sit, the ribbon's gonna sit like right at the top of the pocket, so it's gonna make it look even cuter. Look at that. So that's another little tiny journaling spot. And we have this on the front. And I think I want to add let me see what I have over here. That's too big. And I use blue. So let's see how big this is. It's a little small for this. Although we could put it down lower and let it kind of straggle off the top. I like that idea. So let's put some glue down. And then we will keep this straggly part right here. And it's okay if it goes off the side a little bit. And then we need to find a pink or other color button. Let me see if I have a button, any other buttons that have fabric in them, or thread, I mean. I don't think I have any in that. Don't think I have any in that. Cute on there. Let's see if I have any. I don't think I have any brads in here. Okay, I like that blue flower though. So I have another. Oh wait. What is this? This is really pretty, but I think that's way too big for our little piece here. I have another box. Let me see if I can locate it. I don't remember where I laid it. Isn't that unusual for me? Not knowing where I put something. Huh. Maybe I put it back in its place. Could be. That could be. I do that sometimes. Let me see. Actually, I just found this. Would that look too... I think that looks perfect. So I'm going to use it and not dig for things today. We're just using what we have for where we need it. So there's our little book. I'm debating on whether to put a closure on it because we put the little ribbon on the inside. I don't know that I necessarily need a closure for it. If it becomes an issue where it keeps wanting to fall out, I can find a piece of maybe I already have some right here. Let me look. Yes, I do. We can use a piece of this pink. Boy, we're going really toward the pink and the blues, aren't we? And I'll tell you one of the reasons why I chose those colors is because we have some men in the group and we have some ladies in the group. So everybody is represented properly. Although some men definitely look nice. My husband wears a pink shirt. He wears a peach one that looks really nice on him. So, you know, men definitely look nice in those pale colors too. All right, so now that we made this little book, we need to find a place for it to go. So we have these three pieces made. We have this young lady and we have the little baby. So I think they're going to go together like that. And then we have these two pieces. And then I need to find a paper clip for these, or make a hidden paper clip. Something like that for this one. And then we're going to need another piece of lace, which I do have some more of this, and we could make another pocket. I have this too, which this is really pretty, but it's a little bit, a tiny bit flimsy. So we could definitely use that. I like this like mauve-y color. And we could even hang the book if we wanted to, but I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use this, and let me cut it right at the bottom of the mauve. So we have this, and should we back it with this so that it has some stability? Maybe there's something else I have rather than using that. Let's see. Here is, oh, this is pretty. This is white though. Do we like the white? Ooh, we have some white on that baby piece, don't we? How could we do that to make, or maybe we want to do it like this so it shows through. Okay, so I'm just auditioning a couple things because I need to make another pocket. So I could make a pocket out of something like a piece of muslin, or, you know, another piece of something. Wait a minute, let me pull this out. Okay, that's not muslin. Where did my muslin go? Where did you go? Excuse me while I'm being goofy. Oh, actually, this would maybe look pretty to go with the blue aspect. This is just a little like bag or sack. So wonder if we took a piece of this. That looks pretty. Where's our piece right here? So we could put these two together, or maybe even separate them with the lace. And I could put that little pocket on the back. and we could stick our journal in it. However, if we do that, we won't be able to see the journal. So I think I definitely want to use this. They remind me of like little bags that people might keep to keep their treasures in. So let's keep this open as a possible option for the future. And then we'll go for we will go forth with some okay, those are tassels. I know I had some, ooh, okay, that's green, but that's pretty. And that cover, that's large enough that we could make a pocket out of that. Okay, so what we need to do at this point is I'm going to look through some things that I have, and I'm going to see if we can possibly put something in that will make a pocket, and that way we can stick our little book in there. I definitely have a lot of laces and things like that, but what I'm looking for I'm not finding, which is a piece of cream colored, it's not exactly muslin, but it's close enough. And then I have this lace too. So we have lots to work with. But I'm not going to keep you guys all day. I just wanted to begin this project with you, and then I will be back to finish up, and we can look for some more exciting trims and pieces to go on our cabinet card journal or booklet. I hope you like what we did today, and that if you enjoyed this video and you're new here, I'm so thankful if you subscribe. If you are returning, thank you so much for that as well. And if you don't mind liking, sharing, subscribing, all that beautiful stuff, I would be very grateful. See, you're choking me up, guys. So I hope you enjoy your day, and I will be sure to do some linking down at the bottom for you. And as always, please stay safe, stay hydrated in this heat, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.